All in Sports Network. We love sports.
All right, welcome back to All in Mizzou, Mizzou every day here at Rogue Media. It's Thursday, which means we're one day closer to getting to see Missouri back in action on the football field. Unfortunately, this week, or maybe fortunately, depending on the way you look at it, this week's game probably won't be super exciting or stressful. You know, there are two sides to it. Missouri plays UMass, who is 0-3. Missouri is 4-0, ranked number 20 in the AP poll, coming off a 29-20 win over South Carolina last weekend. This is the second installment of the home and home series that Missouri scheduled with UMass a couple years ago with a different athletic director. This is the second of the two-game series. I don't know why. I think it's funny that the first of the two-game series was played at UMass. Missouri, of the mighty SEC, had to go up and play UMass. I don't know why I think that's funny, but it is. I think it's funny because I had to go up to UMass and cover this game. Myself, Adam Busak, who was on this show a couple weeks ago, Amelia Hurley, who I'm sure I'll have on at some point, and our Tiger Kickoff host, Jacob Siciliano, who probably will be on here at some point too. We all went to that game up in UMass, and I should have had one of them on to talk about this because this was the travel experience here was fun, or not fun, funny. We flew from St. Louis to Charlotte, the Charlotte airport, and of course, we missed our connecting flight. So we were stranded in Charlotte for hours. I mean, like, I want to say, I don't know, 8 hours, which is interesting because that is not the first time that's happened to me. I've been stranded in the Charlotte airport for at least 8 hours twice, and it actually happened twice in about a 4-month span. So basically what I'm saying is that I hate Charlotte, and if you're from Charlotte, I hate you. No, but we were able to get on a connecting flight late at night, flew into, I think it was Springfield, Massachusetts. From there, we got a hotel, and the next morning we drove to Amherst, where UMass plays. And, it's always interesting seeing how the football environments are for different schools, especially, these non-conference games where it's just a different culture and tradition at UMass. So it was cool to see. I actually really loved Amherst. I thought it was a really nice place. It was super pretty. We went there kind of in the fall. Really nice people, nice town, got to give them some credit. It was fun. The stadium is very small. I think it's probably about the size of my high school football stadium. The Boneyard at Lake Highlands is probably maybe just a little bit smaller than the UMass stadium. But it was a lot of fun. A fun trip. Missouri won that game, of course, 45-3. There was really no question about it. They were going to win that game. And I feel the same way this year. Missouri's going to win this game. I think they're favored by like 42.5 points. So what I'm doing here is a preview of this game, and it probably will be a shorter episode because there's not all that much to say. I want to start with some background here. UMass was promoted to the FBS level, I think, in 2012. And since then, I don't think they have a winning season. Yeah, they don't. They don't have a season where they've won even more than 4 games, which is unfortunate. I like UMass. I I liked it up there. I thought it was fun. The people were nice, like I said. I'm rooting for them to figure it out, but maybe just not this week. They've got a new head coach, so there's a transition period going on. Joe Harris-Simiak, I'll talk about in a second. So things are going slow, and they're going very slow for UMass this year. They're 0-3, like I said. They lost 42-10 to Temple to start the year. They lost 27-26 to Bryant. And Bryant, if you don't know, is an FCS school that I think was very bad last year. I think they won 2 games last year. So losing to that opponent, not ideal. They lost by 1. Yes, Bryant won 2 games last year. So not a great look there. And then they played Iowa last week and they lost 47-7. So it's been a very rough start to the year for UMass, which is unfortunate. They play Missouri, obviously, this week. And then they have Western Michigan, Kent State, Buffalo, Central Michigan. Hopefully they can find some wins. I'm rooting for him. Joe Harris-Simiak, the new head coach, is a defensive-minded guy. He comes from Rutgers. He was the Rutgers defensive coordinator from 2022 to 2024. And, Rutgers defense was good in that stretch. Played a pretty classic Big Ten style defense. He plays a 4-man front, 4-2-5 formation. I think this is a pretty good hire for them, but it's going to take some time. And they've gotten off to a slow start here. Harris-Simiak also was the co-defensive coordinator and safeties coach at Minnesota from 2019 to 2021. Before that, he was the head coach at Maine from 2016 to 2018. In 2018, his final year at Maine, he went 10-4, 7-1 in conference play, ended up winning the Coastal Athletic Conference. So he has a history. He has a history of winning, and I'm rooting for him to get it turned around here at UMass. Their offensive coordinator, Mike Bajakian. I think that's how you say it. He is another guy with a ton of experience. He's been the offensive coordinator at Northwestern, Tennessee, Cincinnati. He's also worked in the NFL with the Chicago Bears and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he runs sort of a multiple offense. I think he likes to use his quarterbacks on the run, a lot of read option, a lot of RPO. UMass does have a very talented wide receiver, Jaquan Gibson. He, I believe, how many yards does he have? Hold on. Against Temple, he had his best game. He had 132 yards on 12 catches. Against Bryant, he had 7 catches for 89 yards. And against Iowa, he had 5 catches for 37 yards. Last week against Iowa, let's see here. I think quarterback Grant Jordan got the start. But this week, A.J. Hairston is starting. A.J. Hairston was a 3-star quarterback, I think, out of the 2024 class from Florida. He is starting against Missouri this week. So there you go. That's what I have on UMass. They're not good. They're not good at all right now. Missouri should get out of this game with really no issues. What do I want to see out of this game? Let's do that. Let's talk about this. What do I want to see out of this game for Missouri? Well, the main thing I want to see is I want to see nobody getting hurt on either side. No reason. I mean, this game should be a total nothing game. You shouldn't get hurt. Last year, I believe Khalil Jacobs was hurt in this game. We can't have that. No injuries. I would love to see the defensive backfield, the secondary, just get some confidence. They're going to have, I mean, this is not a difficult challenge for them, but it's going to help to get some confidence as they go into the bye week, and then they have Alabama. So there you go. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see some of the young guys play. Get your backups in. Get Zollers in there. Get Marquise Davis in there. I want to see some of these young guys. Also on the defensive side of the ball, like Dante McClellan had a really nice game against Central Arkansas. Jeremiah Beasley. A good opportunity to see some of these young guys in action. So that should be good. Who else? There's a couple other young guys. Javion Hilson. It'd be great to see him. Dayton Hopkins. Let's just see some of these young guys. This should be a game where you take care of business. So let's take care of business. I want to see Ahmad Hardy get 100 yards. I think he could probably do that in the first quarter if he wanted. Let him get 100 yards so he keeps this, selfishly, this guy has a chance to have a really special season. I'm sure he's going to get some Heisman looks. Give him 100 yards. Give him 10 carries, 100 yards, just like you did against Central Arkansas, and then get him out and let Jamal Roberts get in there, Tavoris Jones, Marquise Davis, let the other guys get in. That's all. I really don't have too much to say here. Missouri should win this game by a lot. I think the defensive line is going to have a chance to be very disruptive again. And really, this is it's kind of a get right game, but it's tough because you've not lost a game. But it's a chance to settle in. It's almost, I hate to be so disrespectful towards UMass. I'm not trying to be, but it's almost like it's almost an extension of the bye week. Like your starters should only be playing one half. Maybe 2.5 quarters. I don't know. It shouldn't be a game where you have to put too much stress on anybody. So utilize this as a tune-up. Get it, be healthy, get out of it healthy, because after this, you're not going to have any more of these games. After this, you're going to have a run of games that's going to be tough. Obviously, immediately after this, you have the bye week to continue to get right, continue to work on some of those secondary issues. And then you host Alabama. And then you go on the road for the first time of the all season. You go to Auburn. And you go to Vanderbilt. And you host Texas A&M and Mississippi State. And you finish it out at Oklahoma and at Arkansas. There's not an easy game left on the schedule. So take advantage of this. Have some fun. Enjoy it, because it's going to get tough, very soon. All right. I think that's all I have pretty much about this Missouri UMass game. I would love to be more detailed, but it's just one of these things where Missouri should and will win. And if they don't win, I don't know. I don't know. I'll be shocked. Before I get out of here, There is some SEC news that I didn't really address yesterday. Pretty surprising stuff out of the SEC. John Mateer, Oklahoma's quarterback, apparently in the first or at some point in the Oklahoma's win over Auburn, John Mateer broke a bone in his throwing hand, and it requires surgery, and he will be out with the hope that he can return sometime this season. So that's interesting. This guy's the Heisman favorite. Oklahoma is 4-0. They're 7th in the country. And now you've got Michael Hawkins going in to play quarterback at Oklahoma. And he's always there for him. He's like the best backup ever. He's always ready to go. But Oklahoma has a bye this week. Then they have Kent State. And then they have the Red River rivalry. Red River shootout, as I like to call it. Against Texas on October 11th. So that's about 3 weeks. And I've seen a lot of timelines say 3 to 5 weeks. I think it's hard to know. I think he will be back for the Missouri game. So there's nothing, I would say, don't get your hopes up there. But this Oklahoma team, they don't really have much of a run game. Their defense is great. But that Texas game all of a sudden gets very interesting. And I think there is a chance Mateer is back by then. But they got Texas and they go to South Carolina, who I'm sure will be better then than they are now. I think they're going to keep getting better. And then they have Ole Miss. And I think you probably expect him to be back at that point. I'm not sure how serious this is. I mean, he played through the injury. And I think he completed like his last 11 passes against Auburn. So it's obviously not something that's crazy, but it is serious enough to require surgery. And I imagine Oklahoma feels pretty good about their chances these next 3 or 5 weeks. But something to note, that is an interesting development. Came out of nowhere. And the Heisman race, kind of opens up now. I'm sure he'll still have a chance to win it, but you miss some time, that affects some things. So that's something to look for. Anything else? I'm trying to think here. This is a shorter one, man. I feel bad it's so short, but what am I going to do? I can't make stuff up. I can't make any of this. I can't make any storylines up here against UMass. It just is what it is. We'll see how it goes. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think Missouri favored by 42.5. Here's my hot take. You ready? Missouri, the 42.5 point favorite, will beat UMass at home. There you go. That's my hot take. Thanks for joining me. Tomorrow, I'll try to get a guest on, and we'll make up for this lost time today. Thanks for joining me. Keep coming back. Next week, we got a bye, so scheduling will be a little different probably. The week after that, we have Alabama. I promise I'll have a much better, more in-depth preview of Alabama. Until then, enjoy your Thursday. Godspeed.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.